Good morning, makeup lovers. I'm going to do a get ready with me this morning. I tend to fuss more on a Saturday. I don't do a lot on a Saturday, I go shopping, but I have time to do my makeup exactly how I want it, and I can experiment with eyeshadows, etc. So I thought I'd do a get ready with me, maybe have a little chat on the way, and show you some of the products that I use. I'm basing this around the Anastasia Beverly Hills Modern Renaissance palette. I've only used it once since I've had it, and let's see what I can do with it. A little bit nervous about it. Some of the colours I don't really use normally, but I fell in love with the palette. I had to have it, so I'm going to attempt to do an eye look with that one. So the first thing I'm going to do is clip my fringe out of the way, or bangs as they call them in the US. Now I've got a mirror in front of me. I think I've remembered all my products. We'll see. I've got the coffee on the go. It's 8:30 on a Saturday morning, so I've got early to do this, film this while I've got a little bit of quiet. Andrew's out fishing, so he is due back in about 45 minutes, so we may finish by then. Who knows? Poor Chloe's in bed. I hope I'm not disturbing her as well. So let's get started. So I'm going to start by priming my face with Estée Lauder, the Mattifier. Now I will pop my glasses on and off during this video, and so I'm able to let you know what shades of products I'm using, some of the brushes that I use, so hopefully it'll all go smoothly. Now this primer I've not had very long, I've only used a few times. Not really sure what I think of it at the moment, to be honest. I'm going to test it today. So all I do with this primer is a mattifying primer, so I just pat it into my face, concentrating on the areas where I'm most oily. So that's that primer done. And then I'm going to use my Clinique Superbalanced Silk Foundation, and this is in the shade, I think it's Silk Vanilla. Find out. It is 13 Silk Vanilla. Now, when I first bought this foundation, I didn't really like it. Obviously because of my oily skin, it just probably wasn't the best foundation for me. But I've used it a few times now, and it's left a really, really nice finish. So I'm going to attempt to use it again. So I just pop it on the back of my hand and I dab it all over the face and on the nose. Now I put foundation all over. I put it on my eyes, put it under my eyes, and even though I go in with concealer afterwards. Now I do have a mirror in front of me, you've probably gathered that. Okay, just using the excess, and I'm going to use my Zamira foundation brush. I love this brush. It makes blending foundation in so easy, and I picked it up from an advert on Facebook. It was some company saying the brush was free and all you had to pay was postage, and I think the postage cost me something like $2.99. So I ended up with a really good brush for $2.99. Now the only problem with that was about 2 or 3 days after I'd ordered it, bearing in mind I hadn't done anything else at the time, I started having a lot of cold calling, even in work, on my works number, which was quite embarrassing. And it was from places like debt companies, which, you know, obviously I've never used. So that was a little bit stressful at the time, but after a few times of sort of saying, you know, I'm not interested, go away, it did stop after a few days. I do get the odd one now, and now I'm not sure whether it was something to do with obviously giving my details to get this brush. So I wonder if anybody else had that problem, if they've done something like that. I'm usually very, very careful. I've just added a little bit more foundation in areas that I think I need it more, mainly the T-zone, and I'm just blending all of this down my neck. God, does everybody else make these faces when they're doing their makeup? It's awful. Just basically making sure it's all blended out. This colour is so nice on my skin, and this foundation blends in. Now, some of the reviews that I've seen online, they're not really rating this. I bought it when it first came out, being the Clinique junkie that I am, and like I said, I didn't like it first, but I've really gotten to like it over the last few weeks, so hopefully it'll help everybody else. I think it depends as well on which primer and powder you use with it. Now, I haven't got my mirror on magnifying at the moment, but when I come to do the eyes, no doubt that will change. So that's the foundation blended in, I hope, from what I can see, and I've got a wipe here that I used to wipe the back of my hand. So I'm going to go in with concealer, and I am using the Tarte Shape Tape, and this is in the shade Light. Now, I think it may be a little bit light for me. Actually, before I do that, I'm just going to dab my Real Techniques complexion sponge on my face, just to make sure that foundation is blended out. I love these sponges. I use them to put my foundation on. I use them to put my concealer on. They are pretty good sponges. So this, little is more, they say, and it's very true. It's so thick, this concealer, so I tend to just dab as so, and that even looks too much, but that's okay because the sponge will dab it out. A little bit down the nose, top of the lips, a little bit on the chin, and a little bit in my smile lines. Okay, so I'm just going to blend that out first with my fingers, and then I'm going to go in with the sponge just to make sure it is all blended. I don't know about anybody else's lifestyle, but I work full time. I never seem to have time to do anything that I want to. I've got a very good partner who does probably more around the house than me, bless him, because obviously he's usually home earlier, and he's one of these people that's on the go all the time. He doesn't sort of like to sit down and relax, so I'm just adding a bit more of this on the forehead. So I try and sort of fit these videos in, that's too much now, as much as I can, so it tends to be weekends, but I'm trying to sort of do regular videos every week so that I can up my subscribers. I don't have many at the moment, but in a week I think I've gained about 8, so I would say I'm quite pleased with that personally. So it would be really nice, obviously, to have more. I've started having people subscribing to my channel and asking for me to subscribe back, all smaller channels, but even they have quite a few subscribers, so that's not bad going. And just pop this all under the eye and blend it out. I do find this concealer quite difficult to blend out because it's so thick, so I'm going to have a really good look at it today to see how it wears and if it creases right there. I'm just going to change my mirror now to magnifying, as they say. Okay, let me just move that so you can still see what I'm doing, and I need to, there you go. So I just like to make sure that I don't have any creases in this foundation. And concealer. That looks really, really white on camera, but I promise you in real life it's not. I think I struggled with lighting in the beginning, and now I've probably got too much. But hey ho. So that is my, I'm just going to turn it back around now. That is my concealer done. So I'm quite happy that there is no sort of creasing in that. Now the powder I'm going to use today is the Vichy Derma Blend setting powder. I've had this a while now and I've used it quite a lot of times. I absolutely love it. It's so finely milled. It's amazing. There's not really a scent to it. It comes with a puff, which I don't really use. And I just tap them into the lid, and I'm going to sort of do a bit of a bake under my eyes today, because the one time that I did use the Anastasia Beverly Hills Modern Renaissance palette, I noticed there was quite a lot of fallout on it. So I'm going to pop that under my eyes so I can just sweep that away once I've finished with my eyeshadow. And also I think baking does actually brighten up the eye area, so we shall find out what it does. And go up to that end as well. There you go. So yeah, talking about lifestyle, so busy, never have time to do everything I want to do. But then again, I suppose who does? You know, if they don't work full time, they've got small children, they've got other responsibilities. But I'm lucky in the way that I do love my job. I'm very, very lucky in that respect. And I work with some lovely people. And, you know, yes, it is a chore going to work every day, but, you know, you have to do it, you have to pay the bills. I'd love to stay home, do this all day, earn lots of money on YouTube, but I doubt it if that's going to happen. It would be nice, but I doubt it. Just having another sip of coffee. And then I'm going to prime my eyes. And now I'm using the MAC Paint Pot in Soft Ochre. And I'm going to use a Bare Minerals concealer brush to try and pop this on. And I've just noticed I've changed my mirror background, and I'm probably going to need this on the magnifying side in just a second, but we'll see how it goes. So I'm just popping that all over the eye. I've actually, the last time I used this, I actually did apply it with my fingers and I had problems blending it in. It's actually a lot easier blending it in with this brush. So that's something I've learnt today. Apply MAC Paint Pot Soft Ochre with a concealer brush. And again, I'm just dabbing with my fingers just to make sure that it is all into the creases and it's not going to crease. Now I've just realised that I've not brought a powder to set this. So I'm just going to see, I think there's the light one in the Anastasia palette is the matte one. Just making sure this is into the creases and blended in. Probably rubbed half the baking off, but hey ho, that's life. All these things are sent to dryers. Okay, I'm going to open the Anastasia Modern Renaissance, take off the plastic covering. Now you can see I've only used this one, so I've still got the original brush in there. So now I've got to figure out shade to use. So I'm going to set this paint pot at the moment, and I'm going to use the shade Tempura, which is at the top left, and I'm going to also turn the mirror so I'm not struggling. It's getting the angle right so that you can still see me in camera. There. I'm just going to go in. I've got to show you which brush I'm using. I've picked up the Eco Tools Shade and Define double-ended brush. Shall I use this one? Yeah, I'm going to use the bigger end, which is the shading end. And I'm just going to pop that Tempura all over my lid. One thing I have noticed with these shadows is they are extremely pigmented, and you really don't need a lot of them. Now I'm just tapping this in. I know some people, and I sort of do tiny little sweeping motions, but it's mainly tapping it in. Just because I need to set that paint pot so that my eyeshadow will hopefully stay on all day. Yeah. So yeah, I live with my partner Andrew. We have 2 dogs. His oldest daughter Chloe also lives with us. She's 22. Don't really see a lot of her, bless her. She's no trouble whatsoever. Andrew also has a younger daughter who's 18, but she lives with him. And we have both had previous marriages, so I've got 2 children as well. I've got a daughter who lives in Wales. I have a son who lives here in Torquay near me, and I have grandchildren. Andrew doesn't. I also have a new grandchild on the way in July, so that will be quite an exciting time, and that's going to be a grandson. My 2 granddaughters here in Torquay. Lily I see every other week, Maisie I see every other week. It's because everybody's so busy with their lives. It's just hard fitting everything in that you want to do. And I think once you start sort of getting older and you've got the time, they're grown up, they've all got their own lives. It's a hard balance to make in life. So, you know, all you can do is try your hardest. So another sip of coffee. I do like my coffee. And then I'm going to attempt to see what eyeshadows to use. Right. I think I'm going to use as a transition Burnt Orange. It's the second one in from the left on the lower row. Now I'm going to use a Real Techniques base shadow brush for this. Now because I've got hooded eyes, I always find that most brushes are too big for my eyes, so I don't tend to use the eye brushes for what they're meant for. So I'm actually going to try this with the other side because I have to bend down so far and I don't really see. So right, so I'm going in with a Burnt Orange. Now I'm literally only going to dab and tap off the excess and just go above where my crease is, because I tap this in to start with and then I blend it out with small windscreen wipe motions, as you've seen so many people doing. Now, I struggle with my eyes, but my left eye I can see absolutely fine in the mirror. I struggle with this eye. I've got a lazy left eye, so when I close my right eye, everything is blurry. But obviously, I think once you reach the age of 40, your eyesight just deteriorates anyway, from what I've been told. And I've worn glasses for 5 years now, only for close-up. I don't really need them for distance or driving. Now I've made an appointment with my opticians for the end of next week, and I'm going to see if I am suitable for contact lenses. Now it's nothing to do with vanity really. I'm just struggling more and more on everyday things, on popping the glasses on and off all the time. And because of that, I thought maybe I shall try some contact lenses. So I'm going to see if I'm suitable, because I know not everybody is suitable for contact lenses. Now I'm hoping that I've done a little bit of research, and multifocal lenses keep sort of popping up, so I'm hoping I can have something like that. I can wear them for close-up, wear them for distance, and hopefully when I do videos and things like this, they'll be in, I can see what I'm doing, I can read out shades for you. It'll just make my life easier as well when I go shopping. I've got to get my glasses in and out of my bag. It's a nightmare, to be honest, so, but we shall see. I'm sure I will let you know as time goes on. So I've just popped a bit on as a transition colour on that one. Now I'm going to go in with the next shade, which is Real Gar, and that's on the bottom row right at the very end. And I'm going to go in with, I love this brush and I can never remember the name of it. It's a Morphe brush, and it's the M139. It's a blending brush, but it goes to a point which I absolutely love, so I can get into my crease quite easily. So I'm going to darken up that crease with the Real Girl and this Morphe brush. Now I'm literally going in with just a dab, and I can build up this colour if I need to. Sorry about my tummy rumbling. I don't really feel hungry, but it's rumbling. It's probably saying you haven't had breakfast and you need to. So I'm just going to go in again, little windscreen wiper motions with that Real Girl, a little bit more, and I'm going to just concentrate more on this outer edge, and then bring it into the inner corner, just to try and define my crease a little bit. So I'm quite happy with that. So far so good, because I've not used this look before. I did try a look the first time I used it by following somebody else's look on YouTube, and it was nice, but it wasn't really me. So I'm going to ad hoc it just like I do on all of my other palettes. So I think everybody's different, not everything suits everybody. This eye, since I've had the Blexor treatment, it seems to be a lot more wrinkly than that eye. I'm sure that'll get sorted in the next session. Now I'm going to go down onto the lower corner and bring it up to meet that crease. Now this is, obviously everybody does their eyes differently. This is how I do mine, because I seem to concentrate on certain areas because of my hoods. And I'm going to do exactly the same. Now this is where I struggle when I close my eyes, because I can't see, it's just blurry. So I think this eye is usually guesswork. It probably turns out totally different. So that's that. Now I'm going to go, I've got a Ruby blending brush. I actually had this in a subscription box a few months ago, and I literally, all I do is use it for blending. It's soft, it's fluffy, and it blends the eyeshadows out really good, and it's easy. It just makes the blending job a lot easier. So I'm just blending that in so it's not so harsh looking. I'm hoping that the camera has picked this up. There you go. And that's that all blended. I think with eyeshadows, a lot of the time is spent literally just blend, blend, blend. So I'm going to try and darken the crease up just a little bit more. And I'm going to go in with Red Ochre, and I'm going to use my, what am I going to use? Yeah, I'm going to use the other side of this Eco Tools brush. no, I'm going to use, what am I going to use? I'm going to use the Zoeva Luxe Petite Crease Brush. It's a new brush, so I'm going to go in with the red ochre. I'm literally just dabbing it on, tapping, and just seeing if I can just darken up that outer crease. And I'm just going to pull my eyes slightly, literally just a tiny bit with that red ochre to start with. That has darkened it up lovely, so a little bit more on the other eye. And again, just a bit more on that outer corner, just to darken up that outer corner, give it just a little bit more definition. And then I'm going to go back in with my ruby blending brush and just blend that again so it's not so harsh. And hopefully we'll have quite a successful eye look with this Modern Renaissance palette. That would be good. Okay, so I'm going to go in with a lid colour now. That's probably about all I do when it comes to eyeshadow. I don't put too much on because obviously my eyes are quite hooded. They are better than what they were after my treatment, but they are quite hooded. So I'm going to go in with this Primavera. Primavera colour, which is the third one across on the lower row, and I'm using a Real Techniques definer brush. It's a very small brush. Now I find these small shadow brushes a lot easier on my lids because my lids are not very big, and because I want that colour to pop, I'm going to spray it with a little bit of my L'Oreal Infallible Fixing Mist. Give it a good shake because the powder residue is at that. And I'm just going to spray that brush a little bit and then go in with Primavera. Just pat that on my actual lid. Hopefully that will make the rest of the colours all stand out. My tummy is so rumbling and I don't feel hungry, but it's obviously telling me it needs food. So some toast in the making once I finish this video. Go in with the other one. Again, struggle to see. Lazy left eye, as they call it. Now when I was younger, and they realised that I did have this lazy left eye, the opticians prescribed these glasses for me, and I used to have to wear a patch over my right eye because I think years ago they sort of thought that with a lazy eye that you had to make it work, and it was a few years later that they realised that it didn't actually work like that. So I went through a horrible few years of wearing this patch every single day of an evening after school. I'd be in tears because I couldn't see the TV, I couldn't see to read. It was not a very nice time, but they realised in the end that, you know, nothing was going to work. So I'm quite happy with that, and I'm just going to clean up this brush just slightly on my wipe, and I'm going to go in with Vermeer, which is just above that lash shade I use, Primavera. Okay, just to pop on the centre of the lid, just to make that. Now, I'm not quite sure what happened there. My camera just stopped recording. It just had stopped recording automatically. I've got a very high memory card in there, so I don't really know what happened. Now I think I stopped as I said I was going to pop a little bit of the mirror into the centre of my eyes. So I must take a look at my camera later. So, excuse me. That's it for the eyes finished at the moment. Just a little bit more blending in of that. And then I'm going to go on to, move a little bit closer. I'm going to move on to my eyebrows. Now, I'm going to use this eyebrow set from Collection. It's got the 3 different shadows and it's got a clear brow gel. I've had this now for quite a while and I keep going back to it. It's really, really nice. It stays on. It's not, and this light colour is actually perfect for me, obviously with my light colouring. And it comes with a little brush, which I do use. I use the flat end of the brush, and I just go into the lightest colour and just literally define my brows. I don't do a lot with them. I do have my brows threaded on a regular basis, but I just sort of fill them in just to define them just a little bit more and sort of make them just stand out slightly. And that's all I ever do with my brows. And then I go in with the clear gel, brow gel, out of the set and just sweep that over, and then they all stay in place. So, don't know really what to do about eyeliner today. Do I use a shadow eyeliner out of the palette or do I use a pencil liner? I don't use gel liners as such because I'm not very good at them basically. So again, I suppose practice makes perfect. I have sort of practiced quite a few times, but I just can't get the hang of it. So a bit more practice before I go in with that. So let's open the Anastasia Beverly Hills palette up. Right, I'm going to go in with Cypress Ember, which is at the top row, right at the far end on the right, and I'm going to just line the tops of my eyes with that one. And I'm going to go in with the Define side on this Eco Tools brush. And just literally it's probably literally very slightly along the lash line. Just on the top of my lash line. I think this is mainly just to make the eyeshadow pop, make my eyeshadow, my mascara, sorry, stand out a bit. Now this one I always try and, this again is guesswork with this one, while my eyes are open because I can't see. Oh, I do hope I'm suitable for these contact lenses. And as you can see, it is literally just slightly defined it a little bit. Now the bottom, I'm going to go in with that soft ochre that I used as my transition shade on a small Real Techniques. Let me just have a look at the name on this brush. And that is the Real Techniques eyeliner brush. Simple. Should have guessed it really. And I'm going to go in with that soft ochre and just go underneath the lower lid on the lash line again. I'll tell you what I'm going to do before I go any further. I'm just going to try and just bring this eyeshadow all together. Now before I go any further, yes I did. I'm going to use my Illamasqua. It's my Illamasqua, what colour is it? But it's an eye crayon. It's just in a nude colour really. Vow. The colour is Vow. So small. And I'm just going to use that to just line my bottom waterline. I think this always just opens up my eye slightly, makes me look more awake. And this, I've got a few of these sort of nudie colour pencils, and this is the only one that stays in my waterline. So I do quite like that. And it was about £20, I think. I think I bought it off, I can't remember, it was either Beauty Bay, maybe it was Look Fantastic or Feel Unique, I can't remember, but it was one of those sites, but it's very, very good. So I'm going to go back to my Modern Renaissance. Now I defied use of the soft ochre. I'm going to use the red ochre, a tiny bit of that, and just bring that slightly forward, but I'm not going to go all the way across. I'm just going to go sort of across to my pupil. Again, just on that lower lash line. And just bring it up to the corner, so it sort of brings that look together a little bit. And I'm going to go in with, I'm actually just going to go in with a cotton bed and sort of just blend that out slightly. Smudge it a little bit so it doesn't look so harsh. And then, last but not least, I'm going to go in with mascara. Now first of all I'm going to curl my lashes. I do like my lashes curled. I don't have time for the week, so I do make the most of them now. I'm just going to go in with my Shu Uemura eyelash curler. I've got a few little eyelash curlers. Again, now I'm going to turn this to magnification because I don't want to clump my eyelid into it. And I sort of hold it there for about 20 seconds and lift it up slightly, because I find that sort of gives my eyelashes the best curl. And I'm going to go in with my Estée Lauder Little Black Primer on this, and I do one eye at a time because I just find it holds the curl better. So that's one eye done, and I'm going to go in. You can see how that's lifted those eyelashes. I'm going to go in with the Little Black Primer just to hold that curl in while I do the next eye. Now I don't know about you lot, but I can't put mascara on without smudging it everywhere. Terrible. Just noticed a little glob of eyeshadow there in the corner, which obviously I've missed out. I can see all the fallout from that palette, so I'm going to get that off soon once I've done my mascara as well. So again, I'm going to go in with the curler on this eye, and again just lift, and I sort of pounce the eyelash curler. Again, I saw other YouTubers doing this, and I do find it curls the eyelashes and lifts them quite well. And again, just go in with the Little Black Primer just to try and set that curl in place. And then I'm going to go in with my mascara. Now today I'm going to use the Maybelline Sensational Mascara. Now the only mascara I was ever able to find that wouldn't smudge halfway through the day, wouldn't give me panda eyes, was the Clinique Lash Power. Now I saw another YouTuber, I can't remember who it was, quite a few of them actually, that recommended this for people who had problems with mascara smudging. So I went and bought it. It was, I think it was something like £7.99, so it's not a huge amount. Used it the first time and it stayed put. And I find myself reaching for it. It's amazing for the price. So you're just going to go in with this, and it's got like a little curved brush, but I do smudge it. So let's see if we can do this without getting it everywhere. And obviously go in. I just find it makes my lashes, brings my lashes out basically, makes them look a lot longer than what they are. Now my lashes are not great, but for the last sort of 4 months I have been using this lash conditioner called Lauder, and some on the bottom. It's Lauder Lash Conditioner. I think I've showed it in one of my other videos, and it's amazing. It's really helped lengthen them. I don't think they're ever going to get any sort of longer than what they are now, but they're definitely better. Yeah, I've got it all on the top lid, look again. I did think when I had my Plexor treatment that I would be able not to do that, but I think maybe after the second or third treatment I may just get there. So what I'm going to need to do is just, as you can see, look, see, the lashes gone. Maybe it's because they've gone too long for my eyes, who knows. So yeah, I'm going to go let that dry, and then I go in with the cotton bud, dry cotton bud, just to wipe that off. So I'm going to go back to my Anastasia palette, and I'm going to go back into that Vermeer colour. Now what have I done with my brushes? They probably all ended up on the floor or something. Aha. Go back in with the definer brush into the Vermeer colour, and I'm just going to highlight just the corner of my eyes and bring it slightly forward and slightly over on the top, just to make those eyes pop. Okay, so I find this works amazing for people with hooded eyes, just to open up their eyes a little bit. There, I just feel like it's opened them up. And then I'm going to go back in, I'm going to go in with a shader, the other side. It's another EcoTools double-sided brush, a shader brush. I'm going to go into that Tempera shade, the very first shade I used to set my paint pod, and just define my eyebrow a little bit. There. Just again, open up those eyes even more. So for a first attempt, get ready with me using a palette that, that corner has definitely popped. Let's see if I can blend that out a bit. Wasn't expecting that. Another clean cotton bud, I think. Let's blend that out a little bit. That's the trouble, I think, when you do things quite close up. You don't realise how sort of strong it is. Okay, so while I'm waiting for that mascara to dry so I can wipe off those bits that I've smudged, I'm going to go in with and try and sort of get this powder off. Now I'll go back to my Vichy Dermablend setting powder. A bit more in the lid. And I'm just going to use a Real Techniques setting brush just to try and wipe that baking away from under the eyes. And wherever else I put the powder. And that seems to have set it really, really well. Now I'm going to go in with a Real Techniques powder brush with just a little bit more powder, just to set the rest of my face. And then we can go in with some bronzer, blusher and highlighter. We're getting there. Okay, so for bronzer, I'm not a big bronzer person, and I'm still yet to find that bronzer with a greyish tint that doesn't sort of turn me orange. So today I'm going to use this Essence Matte Touch Blush, and this is in the shade Rose Me Up, but it's more like a nudie colour. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my Real Techniques Duo Fibre Face Brush, because this just picks up a little bit of bronzer or blusher, whatever, and just lightly sweep that under the cheekbones, just to sort of give a bit of colour, define. I put it under my chin, I put it just on the temples there, And then I don't know why, but I also sweep it around the forehead because, and on the nose area, because I just think it just takes off that stark foundation look. So that's that done. Literally a light dusting of that. And then I'm going to go in with my Real Techniques stipple brush, which I did use yesterday, so it is dirty. And I'm going to go in with, I'm going to use my e.l.f. blush palette. I like all of the colours in these, but I'm going to go with quite a pinky lip today. So I'm going to go in with this lower right one, like a rosy colour. These again are quite pigmented, and I just dab on to start. I'm not the greatest person at applying blush, but again, it's just, as you can see a little dab, and it's given me the colour really that I want. And I literally just dab it in rather than blend, because I find if I blend, I end up with blush everywhere I don't need it. So this is just on the apples of my cheek, and I blend up. And I find that is, for me, that is probably the only place I need blusher. So that I'm very happy with, actually. First, long get ready with me. We did have a cutout, and I'm hoping when I edit it, it will all smoothly transition into one. And then I'm going to go in with this clean cotton bud and get that mascara off that I smudged. It should just wipe away very, very easily now, which it has. The other eye was fine, it was only just that eye. So that's that one done. And turn my mirror back. See the problems we have, as people, as long-sighted people have, I should say. And then I'm going to use my L'Oreal Infallible Fixing Mist just to set my face in place. I do find this helps to keep my makeup on all day. I've got quite a few different setting sprays, but I thought I'd just use this one today. A few sprays of that, and let it dry. Do you know what, you wouldn't believe the mess I've made here, because I'm not at my dressing table where I'm opening drawers, putting things back as I'm using them. I've got an ironing board in front of me. It was a tip that I picked up from Karen at Chalky Kaz. She uses an ironing board, and I thought, that's amazing. So I've got everything on my ironing board. There's brushes everywhere, there's tools everywhere, there's makeup everywhere, there's tops not on things, because obviously I'm trying to do a video, I'm more concentrating on that. And it's just, what on earth is going on? What a mess. Andrew's going to come in from, he's been fishing early morning this morning. He's going to come in from fishing, and he's going to go, what on earth are you doing? But hopefully I will have cleaned up and tidied up by the time that he gets in, because I think we're nearly finished, which is not bad. I do usually take on a weekend about 40-45 minutes to do my makeup, and I'm not quite sure how long we've been at the moment, but I think it may have been a little bit longer. But bearing in mind, I am talking about products. So that setting spray is drying, it's done the job. That is my makeup, so I'm going to go in with lips. Now I'm going to use, today I said I'm going to go with a pinky lip. So it's a Clinique Lip Cream and Primer. I had this with a gift with purchase, and I think I've only used it once, and it's a little bit too bright for me, but I just feel like doing something different today. So I'm going to use that one, and I'm going to use my Essence lip liner in Wish Me a Rose. I love Essence lip liners, absolutely adore them. I like Rimmel as well. I'm not going to be able to talk now when I'm doing this, and I need the magnifier. Terrible. I don't think I own a high-end lip liner. because I've always been happy with Rimmel, I've got a few different drugstore makes. Because I've always been happy with Rimmel and now Essence, I've never felt the need to go away and buy a high-end lip liner when these do such a good job for me. So the street is starting to wake up now, so you can probably hear traffic up and down. And I slightly overline my lips because I've not got very thin lips, but they're not very thick, very sort of wide either. And I think the top one is slightly more narrower than my bottom, hence why I just slightly overline it, but literally only slightly. And I do blend it onto my lips, not just line them, because I find when your lipstick wears off, sometimes you can have quite a harsh line, and that is why I bring it down slightly onto the lips. If I'm out and about and my lipstick does wear off a little bit, I'm not going to have such a harsh line. So we're going to go in with the Clinique lip cream and primer in Sweet Pop. That's pink. That's much pinker than what I ever usually wear, but I'm going to go one step further with the pink as well. I'm going to go in with a Revlon, no it's not, it's a L'Oreal Paris cream gloss, and that is in the shade, it's a Mattifier, and this is a really bright pink. I bought this a few months ago, it really stood out to me on the shelf, and I just had to buy it because as much as I love looking at bright colours, I don't always wear them, and I always think I must try. So let's go in with a little bit of gloss. On the lips, and I know what I've forgotten. One of my favourite things, how can I ever forget one of my favourite items to apply? I've got no highlighter on, so I'm going to use, it's another Essence product, the Essence Light Up Your Face Luminizer palette. I again had this in one of my beauty boxes, and I thought, that doesn't look great, but I was so impressed, and hopefully it will show up now on camera. So I'm going to use glasses again. You see, hurry up contact lenses please. So I'm going to use my Zoeva Luxe highlight brush. This is a new brush, I've not used this, so hopefully, and I'm going to go into the middle one in that luminizer palette, and I'm going to just dab to start with, because I was quite surprised how pigmented this highlighter was. When I was so impressed. I'm just going to sweep that on now. Just a bit more, I can't see that is showing up. It probably is, because I do this every time. I think it doesn't show up, and then I go downstairs and Andrew usually says to me, oh my god, you're beaming. So hopefully the light will pick it up. I think it is actually. And I just put a little dot on the end of my nose. That is beaming, I can see it in the viewfinder. Oops. And just a tiny bit on the top of my lips. So hopefully, because in my mirror I can't see it, but I think you will be able to see that on this. I think the camera has actually picked it up. So that is my get ready with me, my very first sort of long get ready with me, which I'm able to do now I've got my camera and lighting, and I'm hoping it's all been, I can edit out where the camera cut off and we haven't missed too much, so I do apologise if we have. But I hope you all enjoyed that, and if you like to see me do more of these sort of get ready with me videos, let me know in the comments below. And please, if you've enjoyed this video, please subscribe. I always try and answer any comments that I have on my video. I know at the moment I don't have many, so probably got time, but please subscribe. I look forward to hearing from you all, and I'll see you all soon in my next video. Enjoy your weekend. Bye for now.